Sandton, South Africa. It plays Agile teams and deliver projects. Each of these beautiful buildings represents companies that were once started by successful entrepreneurs. I will teach you how to make them remain relevant and grow into the wonderful future of technology and customer-focused innovation. My name is Roelof Vermeulen and I'm an ethnologist.
Hi everyone and welcome. Please feel free to make use of the chat if you want to ask questions. I do have to say though that the chat on my screen is very small, so I hope I can see it if you do ask a question, but please do. But please do not just unmute and talk unless asked to do so. This video will be uploaded to YouTube as well as to my Spotify account. So if you do interrupt, it's going to kind of be a problem. At the end of the presentation though, you have at least 10-15 minutes with me where you can ask me questions and I can answer them. My goal with this session specifically is to bring you into the future of delivery using entrepreneurial project management and AI. And entrepreneurial project management is probably a new term for many people. But I hope you can see after this session why it is brand new in terms of the project management world and why it's going to make a massive difference. My objectives though is to summarize the current state of project delivery for you. I will explain why project management and Agile are struggling to deliver the required results, and I'll also explain the future of entrepreneurial delivery. So I'll give you a foundation of how AI will be used. I will even show you how I build a game in literally a minute. And I will show you how to extract requirements, for example, using Jira. We're using AI for Jira. But first, let me introduce myself to you. For those that don't know me, there is one or two of you on the call that do know me. I started my IT career in 1996, and when I learned software development using Fox Pro 2.6. You might want to Google that one. That's how old I am. I later moved over to Visual Basic 5 and .NET, etc. I wrote my last line of code in 2008 in a simple coding language called JavaScript. I was the creator and also the lecturer of the Practical Risk-Based Approach course, a regulatory project management course that was presented by the University of Pretoria, and I presented that course even to the regulator, and that was in 2019-2020. In the past 16 years, I've been a senior project manager and program manager, and for the past 13 years, I specialized in the financial services sector. I worked at places like ABSA, Standard Bank, Nedbank, Old Mutual, Barclays, ZTE, Sun International, fairly big companies. I've represented banks in the FIC as well as in the South African Reserve Bank for various regulatory projects. And I've also introduced XP successfully in a regulated environment in 2019. I was one of the first project managers to successfully introduce TDD into the banking environment, and that happened early last year. I am the founder of and creator of Entrepreneurial, and it's a system which I have been using for the past 8 years. So the system itself has undergone a lot of growth and a lot of changes and maturity, but I've been using it for about 8 years as it is at the moment. Today, I'm a keynote speaker, I'm a consultant. I help businesses navigate this new approach of getting projects delivered with entrepreneurial project management and AI. So I'm just going to get cracking on this. It's a big topic. It's a heavy topic. I want to take you on a journey. It's a wonderful futuristic journey into a future that is already actually there. It's happening right now. Imagine a world where repetitive tasks are a thing of the past, where creativity and innovation thrive in every corner of our companies, and where each day brings us closer to meaningful breakthroughs. That's the world we are stepping into, thanks to generative AI, especially the transformative capabilities of large language models, LLMs, and we are currently witnessing an unprecedented fusion of human ingenuity and machine intelligence. With LLMs as our allies, we have the power to generate high-quality content, analyze massive data sets in the blink of an eye, you will see that later in my presentation, and automate complex processes that used to bog down our entire teams. In the past, we spent months conducting an analysis for basic projects with teams of analysts. We also took months to design solutions, but now we can use AI agents to help us structure conversations, provide real-time status updates, identify project risks before they escalate. We can even propose creative solutions for it to keep our initiatives on track. What does this mean in concrete terms? It means faster delivery, more accurate insights, and it also renewed focus on the unique human qualities that we've got. So we can really focus and tap into our human side, empathy, leadership, and strategic thinking that makes projects truly successful. Project managers can spend less time coordinating resources and more time engaging with stakeholders. Business analysts can dive directly into refining next steps rather than sitting through endless reports. Executives can rely on real-time data-driven recommendations to lead their teams toward bold new opportunities, while significantly reducing risks. And those risks can be reduced through autonomous teams. This isn't just incremental improvement. It's about fundamentally transforming the way we operate right now. With the backing of AI, we are free to dream bigger. We can create a future where, learning from historical data, we can generate predictions and deliver actionable strategies, take a fraction of the time they do today. Actually, last year, things have changed already. It allows us the capability for true innovation. So we need to embrace this wave of progress. We need to integrate LLMs into our workflows. We need to empower GPT-based agents to handle your repetitive tasks and watch as your teams collectively skyrocket their potential. The future of project delivery is bright. It's efficient. It's full of possibilities. Because when AI lifts the burden of the mundane, human brilliance can truly shine. I really believe that. And that's a future worth investing in. To achieve this, we need to understand our current situation though. We read it everywhere on LinkedIn. Agile is dead. Waterfall is dead. And all these statements are being made, and I don't agree with it. But there's a reason why people say it, and you'll see now why. Let's address the elephant in the room. And this is the part where I talk about tough things. I'm going to be straightforward and really try and be calm about it, but I want to state the realities. Since the 1910s, with the invention of the Gantt chart, project management has been on the track of delivery through management and control. It would appear that more than 100 years later, we still have the same methodologies in use. Waterfall and SAFe is firmly designed around management and control. And the way Scrum and Kanban are implemented by many organizations, it's clear that the intent is to micromanage delivery. The irony is, exactly the opposite is achieved. This time we face it. We are that person that drives the same road every day, drives through the same pothole every day, get a puncture every day, then repeat it all tomorrow, expecting a different outcome. It is no surprise that large corporates are wasting vast amount of money on failed projects, with the large numbers of studies and research evidencing that project methodologies is failing. One would think that people would stop driving through the methodology pothole, yet they don't. They don't stop. In fact, they continue destroying any opportunity that businesses have to innovate or compete. It is vital that you understand that at no time in history has the threat been bigger to destroy a business than now. As executives, we can no longer afford to follow the mainstream. We need to change the way that we deliver, and especially managing risks in project management. The normal causes of failure normally attributed to poor communication or lack of communication. All of these will sound familiar to you. Unclear goals, inadequate planning, scope creep, poor risk management, and unrealistic expectations. And the fixes, ironically, normally implement more meetings to improve communication, document better with more detail, and introduce more meetings to ensure improvement of management. Introduce more planning sessions to improve planning. Introduce more controls to reduce scope creep. Introduce more controls to manage risk better. Manage logs like crate logs and RAID logs. And introduce more meetings with stakeholders to manage expectations. Every methodology does this, from traditional project management to Agile. Has it solved anything? The evidence is clear. You see it in front of you. No. And this is real studies, real data. Entrepreneurial people, though, are awesome. They're a rare breed. They're bold, adaptable, and wired to create something out of nothing. They've got this electric mix of vision, grit, and ingenuity. They dream big, they pivot fast, and they act decisively, turning ideas into reality. With a contagious energy, they're curious risk takers, blending competence with a knack for spotting opportunities and others. They miss all these great opportunities. If you think of your current project methodology or project environment, it's exactly what is not there in a management and control environment. Entrepreneurial people inspire teams. They empower them. They do not dictate. They've got this raw, unscripted drive, makes them game changers. But traditional project management and Agile, they often miss the mark on tapping into that awesomeness. And here's why. Traditional project management is like a straitjacket for entrepreneurial souls. It's obsessed with control, detailed plans, Gantt charts, and rigid milestones, laid out months in advance. It suffocates the adaptability that makes entrepreneurs thrive. They're forced to stick to a script when the strength is rewriting it on the fly. The focus on predictability. Every task assigned on ages before. Every risk is mitigated. That clips an entrepreneurial person's wings. We need to turn that around. They don't want a checklist of tasks that they need to complete, a robotic state. Because in that way, competence gets wasted on protocols that they have to follow, instead of solving problems creatively. Their drive will fizzle under all these endless approvals that you have to get. It's like asking a cheetah to march in a parade. Technically, it is possible, but you're missing the point of its speed. Agile, while better, still doesn't fully unlock their magic. Sure, it's iterative and flexible. Sprints and stand-ups sound entrepreneurial on paper, but it's still boxed in by structure, predefined roles, fixed cadences, and a focus on incremental progress. Entrepreneurs don't think like that. They're chasing the next breakthrough, not just shippable increments. Agile's collaborative vibe is great, but its reliance on consensus can dilute the decisiveness, gut-driven edge that entrepreneurs have. Their inspiration gets bogged down in backlog grooming or story point debates, and their competence is funneled into fitting a framework rather than busting it wide open. It's like giving a painter a coloring book. There's room to create, yes, but only within the lines. Both approaches undervalue the entrepreneurial chaos that fuels awesomeness. Traditional project management demands conformity over ingenuity, while Agile tames the wildness with process. Neither fully trusts their ability to self-direct or leverage their knack for turning ambiguity into opportunity. Entrepreneurs shine when they're unleashed, given a goal and the freedom to run at it in their way. Traditional and Agile in their quest for order often dim that spark, leaving their competence underused and their brilliance half-tapped. It's not like they can't fit in these systems, they just deserve one built to amplify, not restrain. What makes them extraordinary? Exactly that. Entrepreneurial people are the perfect match for AI in innovation and projects because their unique blend of boldness, adaptability, and action-oriented brilliance syncs seamlessly with AI's power to amplify human potential. Together, they're a dynamic duo that supercharges creativity and delivery. These awesome people dream up wild ideas and pivot fast, while AI can crunch the data, spot patterns, and simulate outcomes at lightning speeds. You'll see it later. Turning their gut instincts into informed leaps, and their competence and experience let them wield AI as a co-creator, feeding it all the right questions and steering its insights. Now, on the slide, you can see there some information about Gen Z. Then I write it at the bottom, I say, guess who is our current job talent? I want that to simmer a bit. Keep that in your mind. How can business be part of the future? Is what we are doing at the moment enough? More importantly, what are we doing at the moment? How do large corporates innovate? How do organizations execute initiatives? Well, before we talk about that, let's talk about why the average tenure of an S&P 500 company have gone down. This is based on a study of Insight, and just so I get the information presented correctly, the 2024 projection and the 2030 projection was based on a mathematical calculation we did, not on the Insight study directly. But as you can see in terms of the timeline, it's estimated that by 2030, the average tenure of a company will be 7 years. At the core of this is technology disruption and innovation. Rapid advancements in technology have made it easier for new entrants to challenge older established companies. Companies that fail to innovate quickly or adapt to digital disruptions risk being acquired, delisted, or outcompeted. The opening of global markets has increased the number of competitors, putting pressure on established firms to operate more efficiently and stay ahead of emerging rivals. Shifts in consumer behavior and expectations, especially with the rise of e-commerce and social media, have forced companies to be more agile, adapt rapidly, or risk losing market share. The way that delivery worked until as late as last year was mainly methodology based. Adopt Scrum or adopt Waterfall was the discussions for considerations. The end result was often the implementation of a broken, customized methodology. This would often be called hybrid. I'm sure that sounds familiar to you. But it would, in most cases, be a new methodology that failed bigger and harder. But this provided little protection to the executive, a false sense of risk management, all that it produced. But if you look at the end result, there was seldom any improvement, especially with the introduction of SAFe. But what is it that the future requires from delivery systems? How can we take the future, embrace it, and outperform any other business? The future requires us to innovate faster, innovate better, and implement change faster and better. To achieve this, we need to embrace entrepreneurial project management. So we need an adaptive mindset. Instead of relying strictly on traditional methods like Agile and Waterfall, entrepreneurial project management combines rapid experimentation with an openness to ongoing improvement. It encourages project teams to test new ideas and market opportunities, allow cross-functional groups to own projects from idea to implementation, boosting accountability and motivation. It enables outcome-oriented governance. It's a new word. I believe it is. I haven't heard it anywhere before. Rather than following a rigid process, entrepreneurial project management prioritizes results. Leaders should allow teams to redefine the approach or switch tactics when data shows a need. It enables dynamic funding and approvals. You can now allocate resources in stages as milestones are met, instead of massive upfront investments. It enables real-time metrics. Track metrics continuously and pivot if momentum stalls somewhere, or if user feedback reveals a better path. It integrates AI across the organization and then automate and optimize. AI can handle routine tasks such as data entry, scheduling, simple customer interactions, freeing talent to focus on higher level thinking. It can enable predictive analytics, spot market shifts or consumer trends early can do it early. And guide informed decisions. It can augment human decision making while we're on that topic. AI can highlight patterns too complex for manual analysis, helping teams to decide which new features or products or internal improvements they need to pursue. We can also do demand forecast, risk modeling. We can cultivate a bold culture by encouraging experimentation. It shortens feedback loops. That's a big one. We can reimagine delivery models, flexible methodologies, continuous release and learning, leverage a network of partners if we want to, or strategic alliances. We can invest in digital infrastructure to stay relevant. Imagine the CEO and the Chief Marketing Officer having a coffee. And the Chief Marketing Officer say, I wonder if they've changed the font on our main website yet. And the CEO said, oh, no problem. Let me check quick. And 10 seconds later, oh, it's currently in QA. Compared to, let's phone the project manager or let's phone the executive of that department. That executive phones the portfolio manager. The portfolio manager phones the project manager and the project manager contacts the web developer. And then the story comes back to them. It's a different scenario. That's exactly what happened last year still in large corporates. Things have changed dramatically. So let's take a walk into the shoes of our current state of affairs and see why we are failing. Management start and end their days with meetings and no delivery. I'm not harsh on managers. I'm one myself. I know. I remember during the lockdowns having a discussion with my fellow program managers about who has the most meetings in their diary and being outcompeted despite me having 45 meetings in my diary. We were 3 and I had the least meetings for that day. In fact, we did a recent study that proved in an average corporate where you have a CEO with a reporting line of 5 executives under him, 5 levels deep, repeating the 5 reporting broad and then 5 deep. A monthly meeting to produce a status report to the CEO would cost in the region of $460,000 a month in meetings. This is just for a single status meeting to produce it to the CEO, present it to the CEO. It's insane. The biggest irony is that all the money produced a perception and not the truth. The CEO did not receive the intended outcome. Instead, a massaged and altered perception of the truth. Does that lead to informed decisions? Does that reduce risk? And what is the goal for the organization? Certainly no longer delivery. It becomes a distraction of wasteful events disguised as delivery. Stuff like meetings, documentation, and more meetings to ensure governance. Staff start their days with hope and often end with despair because things changed during meetings and others, they just give up. Is that a culture that will ensure a sustainable future for a business to innovate and remain relevant in an AI future? What about AI? What does AI how does it impact our lives in projects? Do regional projects roles have a future? Well, the answer, unfortunately, that everyone is giving you is yes. Your role just changes. No. The reality is your job has already been replaced by AI. Sorry, but that's the truth.
At this point, I'd like to quickly take a break and tell you about Entrepreneurial. Forcing AI into Scrum, Waterfall or Kanban? It's a clunky fit that won't win.
I'm Roelof Vermeulen, founder and creator of Entrepreneurial. My entrepreneurial project management teams use a system optimized for delivery with AI. Transform your business into a high-performance innovation movement, outpacing every competitor. Ready to dominate? Contact us now.
Today, I can have a board meeting with AI bots and probably have a better outcome than with real people. I can create a bunch of GPTs, and I'm showing you a screen with GPTs. And in those GPTs, I can tell them what kind of personality they can have, and they can retrieve the role that executive in a specific position needs to play and provide you with that feedback. So as an executive, I would prepare myself for excos using ChatGPT. When I get into the meeting, I can already anticipate questions, some answers, etc. I'm well prepared, much better than a year or two ago. Today, I can have a project planning session with AI agents and probably come up with a much better plan than I would have had with real people. So I'm going to just go a bit off topic. I'm going to show you, please, anyone come online and just tell me whether you can see my screen changing into ChatGPT. Can you see ChatGPT in front of you? Anybody?
Yes, I can.
Oh, thank you. Frantically looking for the unmute button. So if we look at this interface, I've got a business analyst that I've created as a GPT. That business analyst has specific personality type, etc. I'm sure if you don't know how to create a GPT yet, it's a very handy tool, and you can go and Google that or YouTube it. But I just want to show you something quick to drive a specific point through. I'm going to share my screen now. I just want to get this banner out of the way, which for some reason is in the way. Oh boy. Sorry guys, my share button on Zoom is in the, or my presentation button is in the way. It's trying to get out of the way. No. Okay, I think I've got this. Oh, fantastic. Oops. So I've created a folder for this presentation, and within that folder, I've got project documentation. Within this, I've created a fictional bank called UBank, and UBank Insurance wants to launch a health app. For that, I've created a business requirement document, and that business requirement document is what I'm going to extract now. But what I wanted to do is specifically I want it to produce an output that I can use to populate Jira. I'm very good with Jira, so I know what I need and what the format is for me to do this. I'm just in this week, and I think the CEO of Opfundi is in this session, can test it. I've produced Jira tickets of 150 within an hour, 150 stories within an hour, because I use a system that I use AI to automate it with. And all of them had a test case with them. So what I would do is, for example, I'm going to show you mistakes as well, so that you can see and experience it with me. Adding this document, and I'm saying I wanted to analyze it. Okay, let's do that. It's just uploading it. I think I interrupted the upload, so it broke. So what it's going to give me is an output, and I've just imported a Word document. It's giving me the reasoning. It's going to break it up into epics and the different stories. And it does it all for me. So as part of my request that I asked that each story must represent a single test case, rolling up into an epic for overall functionality. So what I wanted is something that I can use later on to automate my testing. Our chat is very, very slow at the moment. I don't know why it's going this slow, but this happens in seconds. It's literally going through the entire document. Now, if I can show you the document, just so you can see that, hopefully my machine can handle that. I just want to show you what it looks like. Right, this is the document that it's currently analyzing. You can see there it's a normal Word document, nothing special. Got functional requirements, non-functional requirements, all kinds of detail that's in there. Constraints and dependencies, key milestones. Very basic. It's just to give you a taste, an example of how it works. And most of you online might know this. I don't know. Maybe you learned something new today. But this is how powerful AI is. So I'm going to let that run. You can see already where I'm going with this. Very, very useful. So we've just done an extraction of requirements. How long would that normally take a business analyst to do? I can now go and copy and paste that into Jira, very simplistic, and actually track it in a tool as simple as a powerful tool in a simple way in Jira. Now, what's even worse is, even today, a business owner can code using AI. I'm going to demonstrate this using both ChatGPT as well as the brand new Grok from X. Very few people have test-driven X yet so far, but I can tell you, insanely powerful. It's actually quite surprising. I'm going to just take you there quick, but first I want to do it the basic prompt, the same prompt that I'm going to do in Grok, I'm going to do in ChatGPT. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like. I'm not going to type now, so I'm going to show you in Notepad. There we go. This is a very, not even remotely advanced prompt that I'm going to use. Build an asteroid dodger game with JavaScript. The player controls a ship avoiding AI-controlled asteroids, and the asteroids should look like rocks that are all gray in color, and the player should look like a spaceship. So I'm going to select all of them and copy. And take that to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is hopefully finished with the analysis job it's got. Yes, finally done. Now I'm just going to go to the normal ChatGPT, as with anybody I have access to. I'm going to paste that prompt in there. I think I even made a spelling error. Let's see how it handles it. So what ChatGPT will now tell me is, or give me, is an output in JavaScript. Thinking it through, it's giving me the reasoning behind it. And it gives me the cheat code, like how should I make this live. Now, how this works is very simple. I need to save it as an HTML document. What I'm going to do now is all of this needs to be in there. Okay. So what I'm going to do in this case, I'm just going to copy the JS file because I don't want to go and do a bunch of steps now. I'm just going to do this, copy. It says it's copied. Oh, it's still busy. Oy, I'm way too fast for ChatGPT. Finally. So how it works is I'm supposed to just save this as a HTML file. It will take the JavaScript and it will actually execute the HTML file. So for that, I'm just going to go back to Notepad. I'm going to create a new Notepad. I'm going to place it in there. I'm going to say File, Save As. You see here, I've already got a folder there. I'm going to call it the GPT game, just to keep it simple. Making it .html. Let's see, I've done this before. You can do it in Python, you can do anything, any kind of code, by the way. So just to make this simple, I'm going to do this and save. I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually execute this in a browser. I just want to see, how does it work? Does it actually work? Right. Open with Google Chrome. It's probably going to jump up now with an error. You see, it doesn't work. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing in Grok. Just going to close that. I'm going to use the exact same prompt. You can see I'm doing it. Going to Grok. This is X's AI tool. I'm going to do that and save. Boom. Now you saw ChatGPT did not work in that way. The reason is simple. I did not include the HTML file. But Grok already anticipated this for me. One less click, a lot less effort, and now I can just copy and paste. You'll see now. Here we go. So it's written the HTML, the JavaScript code within the HTML, and now I'm going to create a new notepad, paste it all in there, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to call it Grok game.html and save. So I've got Grok game.html and save that. Let me just go back to that folder. It should be there, yes. And I'm going to execute it in Google Chrome. Exactly the same as I did. Whoops, I need to play, otherwise I'm going to die. You see the rocks falling and me playing. I'm using my arrow keys on my keyboard and I'm dodging the rocks. Oh, there we go, game over. And I can just refresh it and play again. Whoops. I think that's super cool. I just wrote code in a minute and I can actually go and play the game. Well, it's a very stupid and silly example, but it gives you an idea of just how powerful AI has become. And it also gives you an idea of how I'm thinking about it, because I was actually not happy with the extra step to go and integrate HTML and a separate JavaScript file as ChatGPT required me to do. So guys, go and check it out on all your GPT bots and go and write your own GPTs and see how you can use the power of AI in projects. Now, I just told you very bad news. I said to you that AI has already replaced you. What it means is I need a new kind of human in my team. These humans require experience, competence, and they need to be people that can think creatively, people that can innovate, and people that can own, live, and breathe delivering awesome stuff using AI. People that own their work. People that use their knowledge and experience, people that loves autonomy. I need a business built on entrepreneurial project management principles and AI, where each unit runs like a startup, with a laser focus on innovation and speed. People that are adaptable, people who can roll with the punches. This setup thrives on rapid experimentation and constant change. New tech shifting markets, AI throwing unexpected insights at you. Someone who's competent and experienced, but also rigid. Adaptable people, they'll pivot without blinking, learn on the fly, and keep momentum going. They're not just comfortable with uncertainty, they feed off it. Competence ensures they know their stuff. Inspiration fuels their creativity. Drive keeps them pushing through setbacks, and experience gives them the instincts to spot what is worth chasing. Add adaptability to the mix, and they'll thrive in a chaotic, fast-moving environment, where the only constant is the need to innovate and deliver quick. Look for people who've shown they can handle ambiguity. Maybe they've launched something from scratch, switched industries and crushed it, or turned a failing project into a win by rethinking the approach. That's the kind of DNA that will make the future click. Leadership in this kind of business needs to flip the script from managing and controlling to enabling and unleashing. You want leaders who see their job as clearing the runway, not steering every move. With teams that are competent, inspired, driven, experienced, and adaptable, micromanaging would just choke the energy out of the room. Instead, the focus should be on amplifying those traits and letting the startup vibe flourish. These leaders should be obsessed with creating conditions where people can shine. That means setting a clear, bold vision, something that lights a fire under everyone, but then stepping back to let the teams figure out how to get there. They prioritize, give access to tools, resources, and real-time data, so those driven, adaptable people can experiment and iterate without red tape. It's about trusting competence and experience to deliver, not second-guessing every call. Inspiration is a big one here. Leaders should model it, not mandate it. They could share the wins, celebrate smart risks, even the ones that flop, and keep the why of the work front and center. That keeps the spark alive without dictating how it burns. And since speed and innovation is the name of the game, they'd ruthlessly cut anything that slows things down, be it bureaucracy, outdated processes, or endless approval loops. Think of them as coaches, not commanders. They'd ask questions like, what do you need to go faster, or what's blocking your next big idea? Then move mountains to make it happen. They'd also connect the dots across those startup-style units, ensuring the chaos stays productive and aligned with the bigger picture, without stifling the autonomy that makes it work. Leaders like this don't hoard control. They multiply capability. They'd hire for entrepreneurial traits, then get out of the way, fanning the flames, instead of trying to contain them. That's how you turn a team of rock stars into a full-on movement. The future of delivery is shining bright for our businesses, but only the businesses that embrace AI and adapt entrepreneurial delivery processes. For project managers, the future is the brightest of all. If you embrace entrepreneurship as a delivery model, many PMs know and understand the roles that's working in their projects. Many PMs understand each function and why it is there. So for them to utilize AI is very easy compared to a specialist. But they can make mistakes. So the specialist with the experience is still vital. See, the future of delivery is where entrepreneurial project management and AI converge, with each business unit operating like a startup. This will unlock some pretty exciting benefits, especially when you prioritize innovation and speed of delivery. Let's break it down. First off, treating business units as startups injects an entrepreneurial mindset into the mix. These units become nimble, self-contained teams, empowered to experiment, take calculated risks, and pivot fast when something is not working. You get a culture obsessed with innovation. Everyone's hunting for the next big idea, not just waiting for orders from the top down in a robotic state, as is required with traditional project management and some forms of Agile. That autonomy sparks creativity and ownership, which can lead to breakthroughs, something the management and control mindset of traditional project management and Agile discourage. Now, toss AI into that setup, and it's like giving those startups a turbo boost. AI can handle the grunt work, crunching the data, spotting trends, optimizing workflows. So these teams can focus on the high value stuff, dreaming up bold solutions and getting them out the door. Imagine AI predicting customer needs before they even articulate them, or flagging bottlenecks in project timelines before they derail things. Speed up delivery skyrockets because you're not bogged down in a manual process or guesswork. Innovation gets a double win here. Startups thrive on disruption, and AI amplifies that by offering insights. No human could ever have done that alone. Like finding untapped markets through pattern recognition or simulating how a new product might perform under different conditions. Each business unit can test ideas at a low cost and iterate quickly, almost like running a dozen lean experiments at once. The ones that work scale up. The ones that don't get ditched without sinking the whole ship. Speed-wise, this model cuts through bureaucracy. Traditional project management and Agile often drowns in layers of approvals and endless ceremonies. But when units act like a startup, decisions happen on the spot, and AI provides real-time feedback to keep things moving. So with all the context that I just gave you around how we need to package our company with different startups, each business unit running like a startup, the delivery happens using what we call in Entrepreneurial the three sisters of delivery: flow, rhythm, and momentum. And flow is where we basically keep track of all the innovation and ideas. We prioritize them, we refine them, and then we execute. In Jira, we normally keep this track of this as stories within a Kanban type board, but it's not using the methodology Kanban, just simply in Jira using the Kanban board. The second sister in delivery is rhythm. You will always hear people say, we need to deliver at a cadence. No. And the new thing that recently came out is we need to deliver by momentum. We've been doing it in Entrepreneurial 8 years ago. We've already caught up on that. You plan at a rhythm, you deliver with momentum. So the planning at rhythm happens where you've got the leadership that only provides direction and focus, and plan only down to a level of a quarterly level. It's almost always aligned to your greater organizational strategy, and then the detail planning is done by the individuals in the teams. The last part of the three sisters, and the last sister, is the delivery by momentum. In the case where we've applied this in a corporate environment, and that's why I actually ended up implementing TDD, you start implementing change by the minute, by the hour. It no longer waits until everything is done and gets released into an environment at once. If it can be landed individually, it goes, it flows through, and it lands. So what happens is, as you deliver, you start picking up momentum, and it happens faster and faster as a team matures. It's like an ecosystem. So, as a closing statement, I would like to compare entrepreneurial project management and delivery to an ecosystem. It's dynamic, interconnected, and adaptive, especially in a setup where business units operate like startups, fueled by innovation and speed. Picture an ecosystem like a thriving forest or a coral reef that you see there in front of you, and you'll see the parallels emerge naturally. In an ecosystem, every element, plant, animal, water, soil, it plays a role, interacting in ways that sustain the whole entrepreneurial project management ecosystem. Entrepreneurial project management works similarly. Each team or business unit is like a species, contributing to unique strengths. Competence, drive, adaptability, all of that is being used for a collective goal. Just as a forest has trees producing oxygen, insects pollinating flowers, and predators keeping populations in check, your project ecosystem has innovators brainstorming bold ideas, executors racing to deliver, and leaders enabling that flow. Each part distinct yet interdependent. The diversity in an ecosystem drives its resilience, and that's true here too. In entrepreneurial delivery, you've got a variety of skills and perspectives. Experienced people spotting risks, inspired dreamers pushing boundaries, driven hustlers hitting deadlines, like biodiversity ensuring a forest survives in a drought. This mix lets the project ecosystem weather setbacks, pivot fast, and seize opportunities. A stagnant, uniform approach, it collapses under pressure, but entrepreneurial diversity thrives under pressure. Then there's this constant evolution. Ecosystems don't just sit still, species adapt, food chains shift, conditions change. Entrepreneurial project management mirrors this with its iterative startup-like rhythm. Teams test ideas like seeds that sprout. Scrap what flops if it doesn't work, like natural selection, and double down on what does work, like growth. AI in the mix is like sunlight or rain, an accelerator that feeds the system, powering faster iterations and sharper insights, keeping the whole thing humming. Energy flow is another link. In nature, energy moves from sun to plant, from plant to herbivore to predator. It's sustaining life. In your project ecosystem, energy flows as inspiration sparks ideas, competence turns them into action, and delivery pushes them to the finish line. Leaders act like nutrient-rich soil, not controlling the growth by enriching it, enabling teams to flourish rather than dictating every step. Finally, balance keeps it all stable. An ecosystem thrives when no single part overwhelms the rest. Too many predators and the prey vanish. Too little water and the plants die. Entrepreneurial project management needs that equilibrium too. Too much innovation without execution stalls progress. Too much control kills adaptability. The startup style unit self-regulates. finding their niche while feeding into the bigger mission. Much like organisms carving out roles in a habitat. So entrepreneurial project management and delivery as an ecosystem isn't just a metaphor. It's a living model. It's adaptive, interconnected, and it thrives on diversity. So guys, this is my presentation. I hope that I brought through the message. The old way of planning things and then strictly stick to a plan. Managing and controlling, having many meetings to talk about stuff constantly throughout a project. Many ceremonies. In the case of SAFE, where there's many roles added, many new artifacts added, all of those things is going into the wrong direction. AI has brought incredible new opportunities, but it requires entrepreneurial people. Our businesses need to change so that we can make use of that benefit. Thank you. Any questions anybody would like to ask me, you are more than welcome. And then just a request from my side as well, please visit roelofvermeulen.com/review and give me a review on this presentation, on this keynote, if you don't mind. But anybody that would like to ask me a question.
A comment from my side, more than a question, Roelof. That was really interesting and a beautiful presentation to look at as well. I have had the privilege of experiencing some of this through your consultation to my company, and it has been transformative. So you've shown in this some more, you've just made yourself more work for because I'm going to be asking you to do some more of these kind of things. It's a journey that we're on, and it's very exciting. What struck me was the pace at which it's all changing, and that it's not a nice to have to figure this out anymore. It's a survival. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Denzel. And well respected, I'm like getting goosebumps. Thank you very much for your comments. Anybody else? Guys, I also offer a 30-minute free consultation. If you'd like to ever do that, you can visit my LinkedIn page. There's a link there that you can visit. And hook up with me on LinkedIn if you came by invite from somebody else. I'm going to stay on for another 5 minutes. We'll stop the recording. And if you would like to talk to me off recording, of course, you can do that.